And as the Israel-Hamas war continues to rage on, Republic Media Network and its largest team of reporters have been getting you minute-to-minute updates. Here's a ground report filed by my colleague Gursimran from Armistice Agreement line near the Gaza border, getting you a sense of Israel's ground preparations as it readies for a mega ground offensive. Here's that report.
The war between Israel and the terrorists of Hamas has now entered day 29, and as we continue to report from the armistice line, we see the loud bangs and also the flames that are coming out from the infrastructure of Hamas. I request Vijay Surendra Rawat to show you the visuals that how the airstrikes are taking place and the black smoke that is coming out from the area that is deep inside the territory of Gaza. The place right now from where we are reporting is roughly 200 to 300 meters from the armistice line that divides the Gaza Strip from state of Israel. And now what we see is almost a couple of miles inside the territory of Gaza. These are the intense gunfight and the loud bangs of the artillery fire along with the airstrikes that is taking place. Yesterday we have seen there was multiple attempts by the Hamas terrorists to launch a barrage of rockets into the territory of Israel, that some of them were intercepted. One that came from the Hamas territory landed just 50 meters from us where we were reporting late last night, and as we report, these loud bangs can be heard. These are the artillery fires that are being conducted, and if we speak of the total number of the hostages remains at 241 that are still with the Hamas terrorists. And I'll request Vijay Surendra Rawat if he can show that side, if we can show you the armistice line that divides the state of Israel from the Gaza Strip. This is as per the agreement that has taken place in 1949. And if we speak of the operation that has been carried out so far by the Israel Defense Forces, this continues to be one of the toughest operation in which 338 soldiers of the Israel Defense Forces have lost their life in the operation, and the operation still continues as the top brass, be it the political or the military top brass, they have made it amply clear that no pressure by the international community will affect the ongoing anti-terror operation against Hamas, and this operation Iron Sword will end only with the end of Hamas from the world map. And we continue to report from the armistice line as the war against terror of Israel state intensifies and enters day 29. With Vijay Surendra Rawat, Gursimran Singh from Armistice Line, Israel-Gaza border.
Gursimran now joining us live on the broadcast. Gursimran, we just saw your ground report from Armistice Agreement line, and in fact that earlier report where there was shelling right very close to the media center. Of course, the situation is extremely sensitive because both sides are equally aggressive, and both sides say that it can turn worse. Israel is certainly very clear in its resolve that they will end what the Hamas started. In terms of the escalation, where does it stand now? Because it is going to be close to a month ever since the Israel-Hamas war started.
Yes, so you have rightly mentioned, Suesha, that it is going to be close to a month that the war has started, and now the operations are on to kill the top leadership of Hamas. But after the 30 days, almost the operation is touching, we are on to the 29th day. The Israel Defense Forces are yet to get into the Gaza city, which remains to be the major point of concern for the IDF, as that remains to be the major fort of terrorists of Hamas. As we report from the coastal area of the Ashdod in the southern Israel, the roads here are bearing a deserted look. I'll request Vijay Surendra Shah to show you that how roads are wearing a deserted look. Reason being that this area has been the target of the terrorists of Hamas. They have been launching multiple airstrikes in this area, and that's why the decision was taken that some of the area, the vicinity, will be evacuated by the Israel security agencies, and those who are living here, they have been asked not to venture without any reason outside their homes, so as a precautionary measure. And as we speak, the jets are roaring in the sky, as we heard, very close to the border in the southern side also, here in the area that is the coastal region, and one of the economically very important area this has been hit several times by the Israel Defense Force, by the Hamas terrorists, so as to target the IDF as well as the civilian. Many of the oil carriers that were coming via sea route to Israel side, they have to shift their locations, shift their routes due to the intense shelling by the terrorists of Hamas. So the Hamas terrorists are trying to hit the Israel side economically as well by targeting the coastal areas, which are one of the key economic mayors that helps the state of Israel for their regular functioning. Suesha.
And in terms of the civilians, Gursimran, what is it like? Because obviously that is the primary concern and has been that civilians should not be a part of what is happening between both sides. But unfortunately, they've taken the worst hit, and that is the bitter reality of a war. What more can you tell us in terms of how they have completely evacuated and which are the sensitive areas?
See, right now we are reporting from the southern coastal area, and here the majority of the areas that are very close to the coast have been vacated. Since this is a city area, here you will find that the roads are bearing a deserted look, but it has not been evacuated. The people are living here inside their houses, so they are carrying out the important task which they are supposed to. But yes, they are not on the roads, not on the markets. The majority of the markets are also closed. Reason being the continuous threat from the Hamas side, because we have seen that a couple of days back on 31st of October, there was a mortar that was launched from the side of Hamas that landed on the highway. Though there was no loss of life, but that was one of the deadliest attacks that we have seen, that inside on the national highway that connects to the Ashdod from the Tel Aviv, that was hit by the terrorists of Hamas. So the Hamas is trying to increase its range, targeting the civilian areas, the cities where they can inflict maximum damage. Now coming to the civilian security, the Israel side is trying to ensure that those areas which are under direct fire, the civilians from there are rescued. But yes, the Hamas is continuously increasing its range of target so that they can inflict maximum casualties to the Iran side. And the worst part of this war has no good for anyone. But yes, the one thing that we have seen is the civilians are the worst hit in this war against terror, be it the terrorists of Hamas who killed 1,400 civilians, including the Israel nationals, and the other side, when the retaliatory action started by the Israel, there were civilian casualties to the people of Gaza as well. So, Aisha.